See now. How do I tell? Ah, you can hear me now. Perfect. I think. I think you can hear me. Person's on the other end. Can you hear me? All no ones. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Who would have thunk that trying to run a live video on YouTube would be so difficult? I'm talking to myself here. Nobody's here watching this. Though whoever, someone tomorrow might click on this and be like, "Oh my gosh, what's going on?" Oh, whoa. Ah, man, it's been a wild, wild few months. It has absolutely been a crazy few months. Whew. And now we're locked down. Everyone's locked down. I'm working from home. My fiance slash spouse is working from home. We're common law, I think, now, technically. It's not fun. You'd think that not having to go to work would be so much more fun than it is. But you come home and there's something off about it, right? It's like I don't know. Personally, I think I'm somewhere between introvert and extrovert, introverted and extroverted, if you will, depending on the context. But for some whatever reason, coming home and we're trying to work from home without the social circle of people around you at work to banter with or whatever the case might be is shockingly boring. I'm just like, God damn, I don't know what's going on. I'm so bored. Ah. Anyway, the idea behind this video or potentially future videos, I just went live right now because I don't know how else to sort of frame the video, and I'd rather it be stream of consciousness. I kind of want to just document the journey through this quarantine period because I think it's absolutely insane that this is happening in our lifetime in this world right now. Um, I work in financial services, and the financial markets are absolutely melting down, which is fascinating to watch as an outside observer, so to speak. Like it's something that you hear about 2008. There's movies made about this kind of thing, but to actually witness it happen in real life is just crazy. It's just unbelievable. It's like, whew. Yeah, I mean, like the markets are down like what 25-30% depending on where you're looking, which is sizable. I mean, that is halfway to '08 levels. It's and the crazy thing about it is it took about, I don't know, how long has it been? Less than a month to do it, to get to this level. It's the fastest bear market in history. Anyway, I'm rambling a bit, but maybe the point is to let it ramble a bit. This is kind of a stream of consciousness, uh, thought outlet, if you will, about the state of things as they are, the state of the current world situation. And I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here. I see I have 3 viewers at the moment. Welcome to the chill quarantine vibes zone. What are you guys up to? I don't know. I don't know if you guys can hear me, right? I hope you can hear me because it's the mic is telling me that you hear me. Mic tells me that you can hear me, or at the very least that I'm saying something. No, okay. So it looks like the mic is working, but anyway. Yeah, I'm just kind of letting my brain wander a little bit, think about something. I am heavily procrastinating right now because I have a project to do for work, and I'm trying not to do it. So I'm here. Here it is. Someone says, "Hope it don't get so bad it becomes every man for themselves." So the thing is, it can never become every man for themselves because it is not a situation or an obstacle for the human race as an entirety, right? That it's not a situation that can be overcome by just individual people. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, okay, it's a tough situation. You know, what are the statistics right now? I think somewhere between 20 to 60, 30 to 70, somewhere in that ballpark. A sizable portion of the world is going to get this thing. Let's call it 40% because it's somewhere in the mid zone. 40% of people will get it. Of 7 billion people, it's 2.8 billion people. Of those, let's call it, I don't know, X percent, 3.5% will die. Is that the phrase, or is that the estimate? So 3.5% of whatever billion people. It's a big number, right? It's like tens of millions of people are possibly going to die if this goes uncovered for the next for the foreseeable future. Now, in the grand scheme of humanity, on the scale of the number of people in the world, It doesn't necessarily lead to much. Uh, I mean, there's going to be a big economic consequences and a big social consequence, but the world will continue once the virus kind of blows over, once we figure out what is going on. But at the end of the day, we can't let tens of millions of people die. That's the big concern here. It's not going to be an every man for themselves situation because most people are going to be completely fine, right? It's really about helping those people that are actually at risk and potentially going to die. That's what matters. Um, anyway, again, I'm just kind of streaming my thoughts out here. It's a crazy situation. I've given myself a time limit for how long I can do this. At the end of the day, my goal is to sort of do this every day for the foreseeable future. Um, Kind of just new ideas that pop into my head, let it be known to the world, or even just for posterity, right? Like, I mean, to some degree, I want this to be a chronicling, hence the name, a chronicling of how situations are unfolding for myself around the world, here, wherever it is, just because it's unprecedented, right? I mean, the last time something like this happened was I think the Spanish flu, the influenza outbreak of however many years ago, 100 years ago, which is already crazy. I'm thinking if it gets so bad they stop the trucks, then no more food. So the thing is, they won't stop the trucks. They just won't, right? They're not going to stop the essential services for humanity, because at the end of the day, it's all driven by who's willing to do the job. Truckers are some of the safest people on the planet, in my humble opinion. Granted, I'm no epidemiologist. I've dabbled in the subject, but I'm no expert by any means. But truckers, one thing they one thing they do is they are, by the nature of their jobs, social distancing themselves. Right? They're stuck in a truck that only they themselves are ever in for a prolonged period of time. So truckers aren't necessarily at risk of being exposed to anyone. And then in addition to that, um, they get paid very well for all intents and purposes, right? Like, I mean, they get paid to do that job, and they get paid overtime if they have to work extra. So people will want to do that job because it's like a double whammy. If you get treated well, financially, and then you also get to not get the disease because you're not exposed to anyone. Granted, you know, they can still come into contact with people, but at the end of the day, like, it's not the end of the world. And they're at low risk. So I don't think they're ever going to stop trucking. Trucking is like one of those things that's so essential. Um, what I'm kind of concerned for is healthcare workers, because healthcare workers, they're exposed to this stuff all the time, right? They're the ones who are going to be in the front line, so to speak, because this is a war, right? This is a war with Mother Nature almost. It's like this virus it's the virus against the entire planet, and healthcare workers are the front line, and then the scientists are like doing some kind of research. I haven't thought this analogy through very well, but it is an interesting concept because they're so exposed to people, and then they have to come home and potentially be exposed to their families and blah blah blah. Realistically, I think that healthcare workers are probably going to have to self isolate to some degree. Like, my mom works in the healthcare field, like she works with seniors, and I know that I don't know what's going to happen with her. Like, hopefully she's fine. They do go through a lot of protocol and procedures to make sure they're properly sanitized and keeping their distances as much as possible and blah blah blah, and not letting outsiders in, which sucks because for old people that's like, they want to, you know, old people need the social contact because it's all really they got going for them to some degree, um, and I'm sure that the families want to see them, right? I don't know. It's kind of crazy times, man. And it's crazy. Like, job security, there's a lot of crazy stuff happening, right, in terms of that. Like, the world, I think someone made a comment, at least in the US, they we could see unemployment spike to like 20%, which is one in every five persons not going to have a job. Theoretically, if this goes unhampered, if the curve isn't flattened at all, this could be a tough situation, right? Because it's it's a weird situation because most people don't realize what's happening, from an economic context. Because okay, there's a virus, it's getting people sick, people are dying, that sucks. But sorry, wasn't here in the beginning. You got the virus, or are you just quarantined? So for the six of you who are here, Thanks for joining me. I'm just chilling. I do not have the virus. Well, not to my knowledge, anyway. I am fine. I've been advised to work from home, as has my spouse who's in the other room. Um, so I'm just stuck inside for the foreseeable future, which sucks. So I'm just doing this as a means to discuss and talk about it. So anyway, to some degree, this is meant to be some kind of archive of my thoughts at the time. So what am I thinking about? Um, so right now, where we are, um, I'm in Ontario, Canada, Toronto, Canada. Ontario just declared a state of emergency yesterday. This morning, the PM, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, announced that there's some kind of stimulus package, economic benefit package that's going to be sent out to Canadians to help them with living, because a lot of people are not going to have jobs, because factories are closing down, restaurants are closing down, everything under the sun is closing down. That's just the nature of this thing. So that's the situation that's going on right now, which is great, because I know there's a lot of people that's not gonna, you know, it's not gonna be able to work, right? Or the demand for their work is gonna be very limited, right? Like my younger brother, for example, he works at a studio, like producing and writing songs and blah blah blah. He's not gonna really have too much opportunity to work with clientele if he doesn't know who's been where. Um, Nobody's gonna. Well, people might want to come in, but I don't think he's gonna want to expose himself to these people. So it's like it's a crazy situation. Um, so it's good that they're gonna get that relief package. It's gonna really help you helpful. And the thing is, you can't really. It's a tough situation for governments, right? Because they're gonna have to find this money. They're gonna have to do this, because otherwise people are gonna die. We don't want that. The economic fallout of people not being able to pay their rent and mortgages, and not being able to work and blah 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 is much more significant than the amount of money they might have to pour out, uh, trying to help people survive for some amount of time, right? So it's a tough situation for governments, but it has to be done. It has to be done. Um, and the problem is that there's going to be some people who are like, making $1 billion. Well, maybe not $1 billion, but even like people who have stable jobs making like $100,000 a year, who don't necessarily need the aid. Um, it's not like they have the time to make sure that this person actually needs this money or not, because this thing could hit at any moment, and anyone could need this money at any time. So the government needs to step in and help people. So it's kind of crazy. It's kind of a crazy time, man. When did I start working? So I started working in the financial sector in 2015. No, 2016. I'll call it 2015, when I really started kind of learning what was going on. And at the time, Canada had just gone into a recession. I don't know if Canada entirely went into a recession, but Alberta went into a recession. There's a big oil thing happening in the world. Um, Markets were taking a hit. That's the last sort of big stock market decline within my before I started working. But then since I started working, it's been just bull, 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 bull. Like the market's been going up and up and up and up, until 2018, where there was a bit of a hiccup. But then 2019 came roaring back, and there was nothing to talk about, right? So as far as I've ever known, bear markets and economic collapses and recessions and that kind of thing has been almost entirely a pipe dream. Like I've never experienced it. I didn't know that it could happen. I didn't know what the world would look like in that kind of scenario. And then add to that, I didn't know what uh, a viral pandemic was like, right? Because the last one we had was what, H1N1. I don't even remember what year that was. It was like 2008 or something. The swine flu, maybe it was 2011. I don't know. It was a while ago. And then there was SARS in 2002 or 2003. I was like 8 years old. I don't know what the hell's going on. So I've never really experienced the type a viral outbreak before. So the last time people were crazy about this, I was too young to care about it. So now here I am, mid-20s, working professional, trying to figure out what the hell's going on in life. Arrests are happening right now. What arrests? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Are people getting arrested for being careless with their diseases? I think they are. That would make sense to me. Because I think that's bioterrorism, right? That's bioterrorism. That's QAnon conspiracy. I don't know what that means. Hanks, Oprah's? Oprah has the coronavirus? I didn't know that. No. Oh, wait. QAnon coronavirus conspiracy about Oprah went viral? Oh my god. What the heck? This is not something I'm aware of. QAnon. QAnon. Is that some 4chan thing? All right, guys, you're about to see whoosh. My nerd glasses come on because I can't read. All right. Oh my gosh, far right conspiracy theory. Do I really want to know what this is about? You know what? I'm not gonna try to figure out what's going on. Conspiracy theories are family, not a theory. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I'll take this off now because it look weird. I can see myself. It's kind of weird actually. But yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of rambling, just thinking out loud. This sucks because I didn't know where else to post this. I just figured I'd post it on my main channel. I haven't made a video in a while because I'm mostly busy, planning out wedding, planning out, school applications. I'm contemplating going back to school. I haven't figured that out yet. Just a lot of stuff happening at work. The viral outbreak has been absolutely hammering me. Not me, hammering the world and thereby the financial markets, which is thereby affecting me because I work in the financial markets. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. So I haven't made a video in a while, and this is going to be my first video back, and it's going to be some shit about me rambling about coronavirus, not knowing what's going on. So it's going to hurt because I feel like people are gonna leave the channel. Don't leave the channel. I'll be back eventually. I'm just very busy. But it's all happening. So what a crazy time to be alive. Crazy time to be alive. All 7 people of you. That's crazy. There's 7 of you. What's up with you guys? Are you guys all quarantined as well? Going for PhD? No, I'm contemplating doing an MBA, Masters of Business Administration, which is more or less just a stepping stone into a different field or a different business or something like that. It's just something that I've contemplated doing, in particular because I kind of want to try working in the States, New York or California. California in particular because the weather there is very nice, supposedly, and the weather in Toronto is not very nice. And I am of the ethnic persuasion where weather being not nice affects me more than most people, I would say. I don't know. I feel like it's in my genes. I think I need the sun. Like my family's from a tropical country, right? It's like it's just been in our blood for generations now. And we come here, the winters are dark, the summers are dark. Actually, summers are not bad. It is crazy. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Trey. I'll make more reaction videos at some point. Cecil, what up? Yeah, Tool videos, those were all the rage, man. I enjoyed them. I enjoyed doing them too. So it was convenient. Like, I really enjoyed the whole listening to music and talking about them, and the fact that people enjoyed watching me listen to music was like the greatest thing that ever happened in my life. It's like, how the hell does that happen, right? imagine that. It's like I'm not really doing anything special. I'm just kind of commentating on what's going on, and I have a rather hyperactive brain in a way. I'm sure you've noticed if you watch my videos. So like I was just like talking about what's coming to mind at the time, and the fact that people watch my videos, that's crazy. What AI stuff do you do? I don't remember talking about that. When's the last time I talked about that? What AI stuff? I do a lot of AI stuff. I'm just trying to figure out how it all works, more or less. Whether that be optical character recognition, whether that be natural language processing, whether that be stuff to do with stock market, which I can't get into due to proprietary nature of algorithms, but it's interesting. Scandinavian heritage. Actually, my fiance is of Scandinavian heritage as well. She is, I think, half Swedish or a quarter Swedish, quarter Finnish, quarter Irish, quarter British. I don't know, something. She's white. She's Canadian as hell. Mr. Bungle. What's Mr. Bungle? I'm about to do a live reaction for you guys. I don't know. Maybe. Let's see what Mr. Bungle is. Mr. Bungle. Who's Mr. Bungle? I don't know how this is going to play out. It's pretty chill. Ooh. This is actually pretty entertaining. All right, I'm not 100% about that about that vocal, but yeah, I mean, I like the sound of that. I like the live band sound. Always down for wind instruments. Always down for brass. I was a trombonist in a jazz band for a while. I enjoyed doing that. That was pretty sweet. But yeah, I don't know how much longer I'm going to do this for. Just figured I would get out in here and talk about some of the stuff on my mind while I'm here. You know what's wild? Italy, man. Italy is getting destroyed. It's getting obliterated. How the hell? That's like Italy is like a prime example of what happens if you don't act quick enough to flatten the curve, so to speak. Because the idea behind flattening the curve is not that you're trying to minimize the number of people who get sick. I mean, that's obviously great too. It's just to delay the number of people who are going to get sick, right? It's to delay the number of people who get sick because the hospital system in most places are physically unable to handle the load of the theoretical number of people who could get sick from this. Even if you look at the lowest end estimates, like there's just no way the hospitals can handle the volume. So Italy, they did not react in time. I'm sure there's many other countries, like the U.S. is absolutely another case of that. The U.S. is completely screwed. Their hospital system, their healthcare system is complete garbage, first of all. And I say this as a Canadian whose healthcare system is okay. Yeah, like they're screwed. Like people shouldn't have to go bankrupt because they want to get tested for coronavirus or they get treated for coronavirus. Like that's just mind numbing to me, right? Are you advertising a phone number in my chat? That's kind of weird. Not sure how I feel about that. I mean, y'all can use your discretion. I trust you guys to be sensible people. Okay. 22:30. I've been at this for 20 minutes. It's a good way to pass time. It's a good way to let my mind stream of consciousness. Maybe at some point I'll put together a highlight video of my quarantine experience. You know what's been crazy is watching the markets collapse every single day. That's been very mesmerizing and kind of addicting. Just watching things move. It's absolutely insane. Italy is shut down because they're going after the Pope. You know what? I'm not a fan of your conspiracy theories. It's kind of anti-intellectual in a way. I feel like people aren't necessarily. Though I completely understand the appeal of conspiracy theories. They're kind of fun. Like the idea that some higher power is controlling. I mean, it's the same reason people are religious, right? I feel like a lot of conspiracy theorists are likely also to be religious, and sometimes they intertwine the two, but it is what it is. Like a conspiracy theory is interesting because it's like people need to believe that there's a greater purpose and there's some kind of underlying force or thematic concept to what's going on in the world, right? And conspiracy theories give that an easy opportunity because it's like, oh, you know, the Illuminati is killing everyone or something or whatever people accuse the Illuminati of. The Earth is flat. That's a wonderful one because like I don't know why anyone feels the need to believe the Earth is flat, but it's more so they just want to feel like they're special because they're onto some greater purpose, greater thing, right? Anyway, I think I got a few minutes left before I'm kicking myself off as a function of being a horrible procrastinator because I still need to finish this. From my office is watching this. Why? Don't you got better things to do? You got families and shit. The fuck. But yeah, hopefully I haven't said or done anything that will get me in trouble. I feel like if anything's gonna get me in trouble, it's stuff that I've done in my past videos. Anyway, this is Killer App signing off. To all 70 of you who watched, thank you. I'm sure you're already probably subscribed because I don't know how else you would have come across my channel, come across this live stream. But it is what it is. Healthcare. There will not be a shortage of bombs. There will not be a shortage of bombs. They spent a lot of money on military. They're even deploying some people to Europe or something, right? I mean, I think they're still bombing some parts of the Middle East. Man, what's going on in the Middle East and Russia is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. The Saudis and the Russians, I don't know how long they're going to be able to keep this up for. It's wild. Oil's collapsed down to like $20. I think it rallied a bit toward the end of the day, but like even as like less than 2 years ago, it was at like $80. And now it's come all the way down to $20, which puts so many economies at risk and so many companies. Like, there's going to be so many bankruptcies if this persists for any period of time. Oh man, Russia and Saudis. Fuck, that's some crazy shit. You're an ex-military? Well, that's pretty cool. Thank you for your service, I suppose. I mean, I'm not American, so it doesn't matter as much to me. I feel like America really loves their veterans. I mean, don't get me wrong, Canadians really love their veterans too, but America is like is nicer. This guy is a blind sheep. If only he knew. X22 report. I'm just gonna quickly Google that to see what the heck he's talking about. X22 report. It's some kind of Twitter page. Daily show that covers economy, political, geopolitical. Blah, blah, blah. Sounds like some alt-right stuff. I'm just gonna steer clear of that for the time being. Don't want to propagate any propaganda. I would rather only reflect views that are my own. But with that in mind, I guess I'll probably shut the stream off pretty soon. Yeah, right about now sounds good. Anyway, all 7 of you who have decided to join me in this quarantine time, great of you to join me. Thank you. And I'm about to sign off. It's Killer App signing out. Peace. Make sure to like all that good stuff. This is not necessarily like and subscribe worthy, but for what it's worth. Peace.